I'm going to be ranking every season in Apex Legends, starting with Season 1, Wild Frontier, all the way to Season 9, Legacy. How am I going to be ranking this? Basically, anything that happened during that season is what I'm ranking it on. New characters, map changes, new maps, all the good stuff. Alright, starting with Season 1, Wild Frontier. Now, Season 1 wasn't all that of a season. It was the first season of Apex. They still didn't really know what they were doing yet. The Battle Pass wasn't all that. And Octane, although he is a great character now, on release his jump pad, sometimes you jump on it and you just weren't going anywhere. There's only one event in the season that I think really saved the season. It was a pretty fun event called Legendary Hunt. The skins event, whatever. There was a game mode, though, called...
For a limited time, legends who place in the top 5 of any match will earn the right to join the Apex Elite Queue.
The Elite Queue was basically ranked before ranked was in the game. If you top 5'd in a normal match, you could go to Elite Queue, and you would have to continue to get top 5s to stay in it. You got one kind of freebie loss, that you could lose once and still get in it, but for the most part, it was pretty competitive. People were trying their hardest to stay alive. Fights felt more intense, and considering we didn't have ranked yet, this was the closest we got to a competitive thing. The badge is still in the game telling you how far you went in the Apex Elite Queue, which was basically ranked. Sometimes you see some high numbers, like people who went in there for like 50 matches. They just never dropped out of the top 5, which is a pretty cool badge to have still. Now, that's the only reason Season 1 isn't in D tier. I'm gonna have to just like slowly elevate it past D tier all the way to C tier. Without that event, I think Season 1 is a D tier season, but with it, really pushes it to C tier. Now, after this season, things do start to get better. Now, let's move on to Season 2. If Season 1 was just the warm-up, Season 2 is when things really started to kick off. First off, we had a first huge map change with Crypto EMPing the tower at Repulsor. So now we have these giant dinosaurs roaming the map, flyers everywhere. And then after that, we get skydive emotes. Watson's in the game now, who completely changed the competitive meta. I mean, every team in the tournaments had a Watson. I'm sure we remember seeing those blue fences everywhere, and I do mean everywhere. And then, how can we forget about ranked in the game? So now everyone can feel a little more competitive. I'm sure when they added ranked, there was a ton of people who found out they were actually terrible at the game. I'm glad I didn't. I'm sorry. But seriously, ranked was an awesome game mode and continues to be my favorite game mode. And last but not least, who cares? They added the L-Star this season. No one cares about the L-Star. I barely see people use it unless it's the first weapon they find. That was a care package weapon. No one picked it up when it was in the care package. Like, every end circle, there'd be a care package. You see an L-Star in it, and you're like, we're not the first team here. Why is it still here? L-Star was a terrible weapon. But overall, this season had so much stuff in it. It was amazing. And just with what I said right now, this is a A-tier season easily. But something that makes it stand above the rest is...
We knew this end would come.
This is what happens when your unit goes AWOL.
Many legends fall. Time for you to join them.
This sounds like it'll be fun.
Solos was an amazing game mode. They have yet to bring it back, and it's currently Season 9, so it's been a while since it's been here. They're most likely not going to bring it back anytime soon. We have don't fill the squad, so you can just jump in alone right now, but 1v3ing isn't fun. It's the 1v1s that we loved. But besides that, Season 2 was a amazing season. Don't think I forgot about disruptor rounds. I'm choosing to ignore disruptor rounds. All right? Look at me. Look at me. Disruptor rounds were painful. I cannot do another alternator meta season. But besides that, this season was a fantastic season. Overall, just pretty much every other season wants to be as good as season 2. I'm going to be honest with you. It was amazing. And because of that, I'm going to slowly elevate it past D tier, past C tier, B, A, all the way to S, our first S tier. Season 2 was phenomenal. All right. Now, I'll be honest, I think this might be everyone's favorite season. Before I move on to season 3, I am now streaming on twitch.tv/Rechot. See you there. Season 3 Meltdown is an amazing season. Right off the bat, before I even say anything, let's just move it right where it belongs, you know? Let's move it to S tier. It belongs up there. Why? We've got a new map, World's Edge. It's amazing. It's way different than King's Canyon. You have the lava side of the map. You have the ice side of the map. You've got 2 cities. Train yards, a hot drop. You've got the train moving throughout the map that people are riding to get to zone. You're either hot dropping on it. It's got great loot. I mean, wow. With just that alone, it already be a great S tier update. We've got the charge rifle, which was super OP on release. Crypto, cool character. I don't play on that much, but he's got an awesome ultimate. And the events, oh my god, the events this season were amazing. We had the Halloween event, which was almost like solos with a twist where you became a zombie after you died and hunt down the last 10 players. Mirage's Holiday Bash, which was basically arenas with 3 teams fighting to control a point, which was amazing. And how can we forget about Grand Soiree? It was 7 events lasting 2 days each over 2 weeks. It was amazing. Every couple days you log in, you got something new to mess around with. Who wouldn't love that? There was just so many cool game modes in that. I hope some of them make a comeback eventually, but for the most part, that was a completely successful event. I'm sure we all remember the war games from season 8 that only a couple of the events worked. No, all the events worked in this one, and it was great. They played amazing. And because of that, season 3 is an instant S tier. Also, I usually don't mention skins when rating seasons, as you can tell from 1 and 2. I don't really care about skins that much in the Battle Pass. I've got to mention Iced Out Pathfinder. Everybody loves that Pathfinder skin. It's the best skin in the game. I don't want to hear any arguments about that in the comments. Without a doubt, that's the best skin. Alright, I think it's clear. I loved Season 3. Let's move on to Season 4. It's a mediocre season. It's going to be in the middle somewhere. Why? Season 2, you got ranked added to the game. It was a huge season, disruptor rounds, a lot of cool stuff's going on. Season 3, new map. Of course, that's a huge thing. We got the train. What does Season 4 give us? The coolest thing they probably gave us was Evo shields. And, I mean, that's cool. That's something permanent that got added to the game. That's something that was added this season. So, hey, it's historic in that sense. But besides that, I think it's a pretty mediocre season. Revenant on release wasn't all that good. He wasn't super crazy as he is now. And, I mean, they destroyed the main city, split into east and west fragments. The lava cracks, you could fly up now, which I don't think really anybody really liked that much. Because when you fall into those lavas, it's pretty much a death sentence if there's another team nearby. They had a really cool fake out with the Forge. I wonder how Forge is doing. Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he going to get revived? Who knows? Hopefully he makes a comeback. I mean, he had a sick bionic arm, maybe a little bit like Doomfist from Overwatch. But overall, this season was a little mediocre. I mean, the Sentinel, it's a cool weapon, I guess. But, 2 snipers in a row, you just had a charge rifle. Maybe switch it up. Give us something different. But, let's move it where it belongs. It's gonna slowly make its way to B tier. First B tier, it just wasn't all that of a season. I mean, even the events in it weren't that cool. I mean, the Deja loot thing kind of gets boring playing the same zone and loot areas. I mean, who wants to do that? But let's move on to season.
Style and class have come to the Apex Games, and her name is Loba.
Enough flirting. Save it for when we win.
Hold
But
up.
don't let looks
Wait for
fool
me.
you. Her glamorous appearance is matched only by her lethality.
I'm always dressed to kill.
Season 5. I mean, you just saw that skit about Loba, but contrary to what I said then, she's not that good. On release, that is. You're slowed when throwing the bracelet. It's not that good of an escape tool. It's got cool movement, but sometimes it just doesn't work. There has been bug fixes to the bracelet almost every season, and on release, sometimes it wouldn't work a lot of the time. The black market, you couldn't grab that much stuff from. You couldn't grab unlimited ammo, and it felt very limiting. So, as a character, Loba wasn't all that good. And the map changes this season. Skulltown, Thunderdome, they just got deleted. Loba just sunk it into the ocean. Like, was it worth it to find Revenant? I don't think so. I want Skulltown back. It was a good hot drop, right? Like, it's a good hot drop. So, that really hurts. Those two things lower this season a lot. But there's a lot of cool changes they did. First off, we got the new quest system. We're hunting for Ash's parts. A lot of story stuff is happening. We got Crypto's Town Takeover, which is a pretty cool place to drop. Shows you how many squads are nearby. It pings the entire map, showing you where every squad is that's alive, which is really cool in my opinion. And Lifeline changes. We have our new res where she just drops the drone shield and walks away and it auto-reses. It eventually got nerfed, but man, this was a crazy change. It made Lifeline a lot different to play, I'd say. And those were kind of the major things that happened this season. I guess we got the mobile respawn beacon, but it didn't come with a survival slot, so it was very clunky in the backpack. Not many people were carrying it, but when you did use it, it did feel good. But I think I'm safe saying this is going to be another B tier season. It's just a lot of changes, true, but Skulltown and Thunderdome being gone really hurt Kings Canyon because, I mean, come on. Those are significant landmarks you're just destroying right there. And people still want them back, I'll say. And Loba as a character wasn't all that interesting. I mean, there was a lot of cool additions this season. Don't get me wrong. Charge Tower, Lifeline changes, Crypto, the quest system. But the map changes to Kings Canyon just felt bad. And because of that, I have to say it's a solid B tier. It's a solid B tier. You know what? I'll move it past... Yeah, we'll move it past Season 4 because I do feel like it was a major improvement past Season 4. There's a lot of cool changes to the game, but it just isn't enough to get it to A tier. If it didn't have the bad Skulltown Thunderdome changes, I'd for sure put it in A tier. But because of that, it's a B tier season. Now, let's move on to Season...
Something big is on the horizon.
Welcome to Season 6. We got some garbage over there, some garbage over there. This is by far the worst season. Why? They reduced the health on all shields by 25. White shield was now 25 health. Blue was 50. Purple was 75. And red was just old purple. It was not a good change. And their reasoning, I remember in the patch notes, they're like, people that shoot first usually aren't winning the fights. We're hoping this change helps change that. What? If I wanted low time to kill, I'd play Call of Duty. This season's just garbage. I'm sure there's some stuff that happened this season. None of it mattered. Not many people were playing as much as they used to with those changes. They reverted them after 2 weeks, but the damage was done. The season was ruined. I mean, there's a lot of garbage. We got the Volt. We got Rampart. I mean, come on, guys. Rampart was garbage right now. I mean, yikes. Rampart names. But no. This whole season was garbage. So that's why we're in the dump. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go on to the next season. Season 7. Oh my God. What a season. Horizon. New map. Trident. We got Pathfinder's Arena. This, honestly, just the new map makes this season an S tier. It doesn't really matter about the character or anything. Like, I mean, when you get a new map in Apex, you just gotta slowly lift it up. When you get a new map in Apex, it is game changing. I mean, I feel bad having season 2 here. They did give us ranked, but with season 3 and 7, it's clear. It's not up to par. So I'm gonna move it down a bit, just to A tier. It's not quite S tier territory, just because 3 and 7 gave us a new map. Now Olympus, wow, not much to say about it, but it's just a good map. The Trident is awesome, a vehicle. I don't use it that often, but when you need to get somewhere and there's a Trident there, you know you're going to hit the Trident up. It's just a great option to have. And it's clear with the Trident, with Horizon, one of the first new characters I feel like was just really interesting. I mean, she was strong on release. I can't say the same about Rampart, Octane, Loba, Revenant, Watson, or Crypto. She was strong on release. I mean, wow. She's got movement for the team, this huge black hole that sucks you in. I will say the only downside to this season is we all remember the sound issues around the PS5 and the waterfall building. Your sound would just turn off if a Bangalore ult went off, if Horizon went off. It was a little annoying. But besides that, this was another wonderful season. I think it's quick and easy just to say this is the S tier season. I don't really gotta explain myself. Now let's move on to season. I'm gonna be honest, this was a mediocre season. Fuse, not that cool. I mean, his abilities kind of suck. Having the old grenade spam back was fun for about a couple of games, but after that it kind of got old. And the only really cool part about this season was the changes to King's Canyon with Fuse's crash ship in the northern part of the map. Really cool place of interest, but besides that, it was a little underwhelming. Now, there was the War Games event that had 5 game modes in it, but for some reason, most of them did not work or broke the game when they released. So it just felt like a beta test gone wrong. I mean, we got Ultra Zones and Armor Regen. I think those were the only 2 that really worked. The other 3, for some reason, broke something, so they had to remove them. And that was kind of boring. And another problem is the game mode was no longer a separate thing you queue up for. It was permanent. It's like, hey, you have to play the LTM because there is no normal unless you played ranked, which is something I did. I just played ranked because I didn't want to play some of the LTMs, which was mostly Ultra Zones and Armor Regen. That kind of sucked. The map changes were cool, but Fuse was underwhelming. Overall, it is a in-between season, in my opinion. I mean, it's nowhere near the top. It's not as bad as season 1, where just not a lot happened. We'll need to talk about season 6. That was god-awful. I think it's safe to say this is a B tier season. I'm putting the lower in the B tier because I believe it belongs there. I mean, wow. That War Games event went terribly. But it wasn't that bad of a season. The new map changes to King's Canyon were cool. It felt like they were almost trying to replace Skulltown. You can't replace Skulltown. I still want it. Let's move on to the final season, the most recent one. Season 9 Legacy. Wow, okay. We're finally caught up. Arenas. That's the biggest thing this season. New permanent game mode. 3v3, just fighting. Nothing else. I love it. It's a great way to warm up for ranked. Or if you just want to skip the boring looting part of Apex and just get straight to the good stuff, the fighting, you get to pick your weapons pretty much. I think it's a great game mode. And we might see some more permanent game modes like this. Who knows? Maybe go from 3v3 to maybe some 6v6. Who knows? Kind of getting a Valorant CSGO vibe from it with the shop. And I really like that. I'm a fan of Valorant, not so much CSGO. But either way, it's a great game mode. Also, we got the bow and arrow. I'm not going to say bow check. I don't know who's calling it the bow check. Honestly, it's the bow. Unless you add another bow, it's the bow. It's a sick weapon. It got some nerfs. Honestly, I think it still maybe needs some more nerfs. It is quite a quiet weapon in a hectic fight. If a squad's rolling up with some bows behind you, you're not going to hear them. If there's a Bangler ult, anything, you're not going to hear the bow and arrow. A little annoying to have to fight against, but a strong, cool weapon with the Deadeye's tempo. That's a pretty cool hop up. I don't know how I feel about the shotgun hop up for the repeater and the bow. I'm not going to be using it that much, but overall, I think it's a really good season. Also, Valkyrie. Wow. Passive flying. That's amazing. Just being able to maneuver like that. Her tactical ability is pretty strong. It is way better than Fuse's. Like, Fuse's is a baby version of her tactical. I can't believe Fuse even exists, honestly. Just comparing their tacticals. Like, hers is just a bigger version of his, pretty much. No one's getting hit by the full Fuse concuss grenade. But, wow, and her ultimate, cool. I like her. It's a great ultimate. If you're in a Battle Royale game and you need a redeploy, wow, it is a game changer. But overall, I think it is a good season with a new permanent mode. It's not up there with season 3 and 7, but it's a good season. I'm not going to put it past season 2 because I think ranked was probably the best addition this game's ever gotten besides the 2 new maps we got from 3 and 7. But hey, it is a strong season. And we still don't know what else we're going to get with this season, so I'm hoping for some great events this season. It's already off to a great start. I mean, a little rocky servers on the launch day, but besides that, it is a great season.